Hello everyone, thank you for joining today. My name is Durga Prasad Saladi and I am excited to talk to you about how Connection can help organizations like yours build a scalable, secure and data-driven cloud environment. So before we dive into the details, I would like to introduce our team members who will be covering different key areas in this presentation. So I have Cameron Kars, who is a partner solutions architect from Microsoft, Pradeep Singla, who is also a partner solutions architect from Microsoft, and Abhijit, who is a director of cloud solutions from TRN Digital. So before we dive into the details let's take a quick look at today's agenda. As a part of our ongoing webinar series, our last session was focused on Azure hybrid and multi-cloud solutions, especially Azure Local, and how Microsoft Azure seamlessly integrates with on-premises infrastructure and other cloud platforms. So feel free to watch that as well. We'll also talk about Connection and its key capabilities and data and AI transformation. So here we will be discussing the current digital transformation landscape and how Microsoft comprehensive data and analytics solutions supports this evolution. So Power BI and Microsoft Fabric, we will explore how to unify your data estate with these advanced analytics and visualization tools. And also a look into how we tailor data-driven services to meet customer needs and enhance business value. We'll also cover the Connections ESP Plus program and how it helps organizations to optimize their cloud environment. And we will wrap it up with the key takeaways and any questions from your side. Regarding, so we are proud to be one of the select few Microsoft partners with Azure-Expert MSP distinction. It's a rigorous vetting process to achieve and maintain the status. Along with that, we also maintain few other designations. So these Microsoft partner designations reaffirm our digital technical capability, experience, and commitment to delivering top-tier Azure solutions for our clients. So if you look at the left column of the slide, so what you want to achieve. So organizations today strive to harness the power of data to enhance productivity, scale their businesses, and make informed decisions. To achieve this, companies are looking for a modern data and open-centric architecture, cost-effective solutions, and accelerated business decision-making through high-quality data insights. So at Connection, we provide a structured approach to helping these businesses achieve these goals. So from assessing the key requirements for modern data architecture solutions, providing deep technical expertise to design and advise the architectural solutions, and also delivering architecture services that incorporates best practices, repeatable and easy maintenance, and performance optimization strategies to make most of your Azure data ecosystem. So if you look at it from assessment to implementation, we take care of end-to-end solutions and we have dedicated teams who focus on these areas. Now, I would like to hand it over to Pradeep to talk about data and AI.
Hi everyone, this is Pradeep Singla. I'm a partner solution architect with the global partner solution team of Microsoft. So today I just want to little bit talk about how AI is transforming the world. Right now, you must have heard about how different organizations are using AI to resolve different scenarios, right? Especially to automate the repetitive task or getting the predictive insights. And also they are using the AI in the security, like AI supported security threat protections. So on creating data agents, AI agents to solve the task where you need the human interventions. So 75% of the CEOs believe that the organization with the most advanced AI features can have a competitive edge over their competitors. So definitely, yes. So that's where the Microsoft play a very big role. Microsoft has a lot of different Azure AI services which you can use for the different tasks which you want to resolve. For example, we have Azure AI Foundry where you can create AI agents. We have AI agentic service. Similarly, we have semantic analytic services, sentiments analytic services. Then we have conversational AIs. So all those are different services we have on our end. And also like document intelligence. So yeah, as I mentioned, right, 87% of the organizations believe that AI will give them a competitive edge. But the most important thing, AI always depend on the data. So data is the fuel for the AI. So if your data has a bad quality, your AI gonna respond wrong results. So it's like a garbage in, garbage out. So you have to make sure that the data which is entering into your single source of truth in your gold layer, and I'm talking about from the medallion architecture perspective, you have to make sure you have the data quality checks, because that's the data which you're going to feed to your AI models. We definitely want to talk more about it, like what are the different services available on the data quality sides, also as well as the analytical side. But before that, I just want to hand over to Cameron. He's going to talk about a little bit of on the what Fabric is, which is our analytical tool. And then he's going to talk about the Copilot for Power BI. Then I will get back and talk about how Fabric can work with the AI services. Cameron, it's to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pardeep. So, as Pardeep was saying, garbage in, garbage out. Data is the fuel that powers AI. So, what does Microsoft have to help us get our data in a good spot, in a great spot that we can have that turned over for AI transformation to be truly transformative to our customers? And so that solution is obviously Fabric. So as you can see here, we have a lot of different workloads. If you've worked with any of the Azure Analytics stack before, every item is represented here, from data factory, analytics, databases, real-time intelligence, Power BI, and newly industry solutions and partner workloads. All of this runs on AI tools to not only help development creating items inside Fabric, but also bringing in AI to Fabric to enhance your data. It's all built on the One Lake, and it's all built with that secure future in mind, using Purview integration as well. So let's look at the kind of 4 pillars of Fabric that we have. So Fabric is a complete analytics platform. So everything is unified, SaaSified, secured, and governed. If you need to spin up a KQL DB, you can do that inside Fabric. You need a SQL DB, you can do that too. Data warehouse, you can do that. Spark clusters, you can do that. Every data product that Microsoft has is unified into Fabric with a very simple billing structure and cost, making it a complete analytics platform that's easy to understand, easy to use, the complete package. The second pillar here, this lake-centric and open pillar, we have the one lake, the one copy, and open at every tier. What this means is that your tenant, your organization, is going to have one lake. Think of it as the OneDrive for data. So there'll be no more, oh, does Division A have, they have control of that database and Division B has control of that server, and we're trying to, aggregate data together. No longer. With Fabric in the One Lake, all your data exists together in the One Lake that anyone in the organization can access and use, provided they have the right security permissions. So let's look at that third pillar, empowering every business user. We want to make sure that Fabric is familiar and intuitive to use, make sure we're building it into Microsoft 365 products, and we're taking insights that we're getting from the data and making that into actions right away. So to that end, familiar and intuitive. If you've worked with Power BI before, the Power BI service, you'll see a lot of familiarities with the UI in terms of just the look and feel and how it structures inside Fabric. Almost everything inside Fabric can be done through the UI, sort of in a low code or no code situation. We also have Copilot to help you out when you do have those instances where code is required. I'll talk more about that in a bit. Building this into Microsoft 365. So the idea being that if I have a great data set and I have a great report that's giving really great insights to my people on my team, my customers, whatever it is, we want to be able to easily share that with them. So having the ability to drop reports and links and sharing into SharePoint, directly into Teams, these sorts of things, that's what Fabric is built on, being able to connect to all these other Microsoft 365 tools. And the last point, insight to action here in this third pillar, is that it's great if we have lots of good data that's giving us insights. After an insight typically comes, well, now that I know X, I want to do Y. So inside Fabric, we have a lot of different tools that do that. We have this whole suite of tools called Data Activator, which can essentially take action on your behalf programmatically on the back end. There are also tools built into Power BI reports themselves that can go out and call data functions inside Fabric to take actions that you program and do that way. So no longer are we just looking at reports and consuming data. We are actually consuming the data and doing actions from the reports back to the database. So the last pillar, AI powered. There's obviously a lot of what we're doing inside Fabric is getting our data ready, getting our data good, getting our data great, so that we can hand it off to AI for that transformation. Now, part of that is how Fabric talks to AI Foundry or any of these other tools or what have you, but it's also about how AI is helping us develop inside of Fabric. So that's where Copilot comes in. Currently, almost every workload inside Fabric has a Copilot attached to it. So if you're in a Spark notebook and you have some very particular Python code you need to write, well, no more sitting on your second monitor pulled up with the documentation trying to figure out what the right function call is. You can ask Copilot inline inside the Spark notebook while it has reference to everything that you've done inside that notebook, and it can give you code blocks, snippets, help you debug, all sorts of those great things. And again, with Power BI, we can send reports out to people. It could be a report they've never seen before. We can ask Copilot for a summary, and it's going to cite its sources too. It's going to say, hey, this is how many sales we had last quarter, and here's how I know that, and point back to the graph that does that. So that's kind of the four main pillars of Fabric. High level, that's what this tool is doing. But I want to call specific attention to the industry solutions that we have. This is sort of a newer feature, but the idea being that if you're in healthcare, if you're in retail, or if you're in the sustainability practices, these solutions have already been developed out in Fabric. What you need to do is you just need to connect your data sources, and these pre-built industry solutions are already there with reports, helping you do whatever it is you need to do. So for instance, in the retail example, we have pre-built metrics and things that will tell you bought together insights, enable AI shopping assistance, site core integration, all that. All you have to do, plug in your inputs, and you have this already beautifully crafted kind of output with these industry solutions. So let me hand it back to Pardeep. He's going to talk about a little bit more about AI and Fabric together.
Yeah, thanks, Cameron. So as Cameron mentioned about Fabric, right? Fabric is our analytical tool, which helps you to make your data better and creating a gold layer, single source of truth, on which you can feed that data to your AI models, or you can create a reporting on top of that, right? So Fabric now, if you go like a 6 month back, Fabric was only the analytical platform. Now, what Microsoft has done, we are making it a transactional plus analytical platform. So now we are bringing all the transactional databases to the Microsoft Fabric. Right now, my SQL database on Fabric, it got GA'd. So it is in the public purview, but stay tuned. We are planning to bring other databases also on Fabric. So what is the difference between the SQL database on Fabric as compared to Azure SQL DB? In reality, there is no difference. The major difference is just Azure SQL DB is a PaaS platform, and now SQL DB on Fabric is a SaaS platform. On the back end, they are using the same engine, and on top of that, what Fabric SQL DB is doing, it is creating another copy for you to run your analytical capabilities. So you don't need to create another copy by creating any pipeline. So that is the beauty of using a Fabric SQL DB. So now the major difference, like how you can integrate AI with the Fabric using the SQL DB. Now it has a built-in vector support. So in your RAG application, you want to store your vector databases. Now you can use the Fabric SQL DB for that. That is the one way how the Fabric can be integrated with AI. There are other scenarios where you can integrate Fabric with AI, like a data science in Fabric. So you can bring your data in your one lake, and then you can refine that using the data wrangler feature in data science. And then you can train your model, register your model. You can do the batch prediction, and you can also do like manually deploy your models on the Azure machine learning side. That is another way the Fabric can be integrated with AI. The third way is you can feed your one lake data directly, like your chat GPT bot, right? And on top of that, you can ask the question in the natural language, and it will answer based on the data you have in one lake. And recently we announced in our Fabric conference, you can create a data agent. So think about, you have a data warehouse and you want to create a domain. Usually we have a domain expert, right? Who knows what are the tables exist in that warehouse, what different metadata exists. Now you don't need to be dependent on any domain expert. You can create a data agent. End of the day, it's like an AI agent, right? You can teach that AI agent how to respond back, and you can ask the question in natural language. On the back end, it will convert your question into a SQL query, fetch the data from the warehouse. Based on like your teaching, it will respond back the answer, and then you can publish those endpoints to your RAG applications. So then based on your application, anyone ask the question in your application, automatically the question will come to that data agent. It will fetch the answer from your data warehouse and respond back to the application. So yeah, those are some of the different ways where the Fabric can be integrated with the AI. Now I want to hand over to Cameron to talk more about on the how the Copilot can be integrated in the Power BI on the Fabric side. Cameron, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Pardeep. Yeah. I'm going to talk about specifically the Copilot inside Power BI. And so, our goal, kind of going back to that third pillar of Fabric, is we want to empower every business user. So if you look here, all the different, types of roles that we might have in a company, whether it's an executive, project management, marketing, legal, whoever it is, they're ingesting data and they're making decisions off of it, right? So how can Copilot come on alongside Power BI and enhance what these end users are already doing? So if you look at this graph that we have here, you can see that Power BI was already off to the races in terms of adoption. 95% of Fortune 500 companies are using Power BI. And you can see here when Fabric came out, our rates of adoption skyrocketed again. This is because of Copilot inside Power BI. So looking at these numbers here, you can see that Copilot users had 52% completed tasks faster, 36% were saying they completed tasks more accurately, and here's the big number, 90% of people said that they were likely to continue to adopt Copilot usage. So what does Copilot in Power BI do? It's an absolutely fantastic tool. Not only does it help with the analysis part of reports ingestion. So if you have an executive from the team, they can open up a report, they can ingest the data, they can do what they need to do. They can ask questions about the report, about the underlying data, back to Copilot. And they say, hey, this report's great. It's got 95% of the things I want to know, but there's one question I've got still in my brain. And I'm going to type that out to Copilot and get an answer back based on the data that it has there. And all of that is filtered and secured. If there's row level security, object level security, whatever it is, that is all filtered inside the Copilot algorithm. So that's part of that also secure future that we have, that open and secure side of that first pillar. So Copilot and Power BI, great for just the analysis of the report consumers, but also great for report developers as well. Many tools in there to help you create reports from scratch, do analyses on the data itself, creating measures, DAX coding can all be done with Copilot and Power BI. So it really is a wonderful tool, and that's why I think we have such a high number of people that once they use it, we have 90% of people saying, I'm going to continue to use it. And I think that's just a fantastic statistic, and it speaks for itself to the quality of the tool and what users get from it. So we're going to pivot now. I'm going to have Abhijit take over, and he's going to walk us through a data warehouse case study.
Thank you, Cameron, and thank you, Pradeep. Now we have gone through the details of the features of Microsoft Fabric. Let's look into a case study and how we are helping the customers to solve their real-world problems. So for this case study, I'll give a background of our client. So this is a case study which we have implemented for a client who specializes in bulk liquid transportation of chemicals across US and Canada. So they have a fleet of modern tankers, a team of experienced drivers, and a network of service centers to ensure reliable and safe delivery. With that, they are more focused on collecting and storing the data from various sources across the company, such as dispatch, the driver logs, the maintenance records, or any other areas from customer information. So they are collecting all this data, and this data is helping them to improve the operational efficiency, to track the safety, the performance, and identify the new business opportunities. So they were storing all this data into SQL Server 2019 and on-premise SQL Server. So what challenges did they have? They encountered multiple challenges. They encountered a challenge of unify system, standards, structures. They didn't have that. They also wanted to leverage a data-driven strategy to address the business problems. But if from the business team, if they have raised a request, that request for data, it was sent to the IT team, which exceeds the prior backlog of providing the data, and they didn't have it. Took so much time for them to give the data what the business needs for decision making. So not only that, because they were using the SQL Server 2019 on-premise, they had issues like scalability. There were multiple data silos because the data was stored into multiple different databases. And there was a complex ETL process where it took a lot of time for them to actually extract the data, transform the data, and finally load the data where actually it made business sense. Also, if any of the business user wanted to do any kind of self-service BI, it was not possible because they were using the SSRS services, and to extract the data and finally get in the hands of the business user, it was really difficult. And taking those challenges into consideration, then the client sought to migrate it to a cloud solution. So they came and they wanted a solution where they have a cloud-based solution to improve the scalability, to reduce the cost that they had, and enhance the business intelligence capabilities where they can make decisions, quickly extract the data, get it into the hands of the business users, and take decisions. So with that, a solution was implemented where we have utilized Microsoft Fabric as a solution, where we got all the data into Microsoft Fabric OneLake and then did all the data warehouse operations on the data to create a business analytics solution. So with that, Microsoft Fabric it helped to reduce the complexity of data modernization. It provided the complete analytics platform with unifying view. What do I mean by unifying view? So as soon as the data was entered into SQL or any other their business applications, the data was moved into one leg of Microsoft Fabric. And the good thing about this was the client was impressed with its rapid use case implementation. So client came to us, they explained us, this is our use case. So we have rapidly implemented it. And because the Microsoft Fabric have a user-friendly interface, and it helps them, the end user, not the implementation, the developers, as well as the end users, to creating analytics and use cases seamlessly. They were amazed that it took only 8 weeks for us to implement and give the solution in their hand, where it took, for a traditional solution, a data warehouse solution might have taken at least a year for implementation. They have some analytics use cases, data pipeline. So all those were addressed within this 8 weeks of time frame. What were the key results? I mean, looking at the solution, what they had in their on-prem environment, considering to that, what were the key results or key benefits that they have got? So the key benefits that they have got was the improved scalability. So even then they were using the SQL Server on-prem 2019, they had other data sources as well. The SaaS solutions where they wanted to bring the data in. So we were able to bring that, and that it really improved their scalability. In no time, where we made the connection, we were able to get the data. It reduced the data silos. So the data was unified, brought to a single location. It was brought to a single location and provided a single source of truth. It simplified the ETL business processes as well. So with the data flows and data factory, data flow Gen 2, it have made it easier to build, maintain, and the data pipelines as well. So there was the complete visibility of tracking, monitoring, and if there were any failures in any pipelines, there was visibility where the business users or the IT developers can get in and address those inconsistencies of data. And the biggest benefit was the enhanced self-service BI, where once the data set was made available to the business users, they were able to extract the data and slice and dice the data based on their needs. And not to mention that it definitely increased the security, because the Microsoft Fabric solution also offers applying sensitivity labels in terms of on the data, where it really helps to apply the security at each individual row level security, object level security that can be applied, which was applied, and it really improved the security backbone for them. And finally, the important criteria for any data warehouse solution is the performance, and it improved their performance, the overall data analytics performance tremendously. So by shifting into the IT-driven approach, they shifted from IT-driven approach to adopting the Fabric. The organization was empowered the business users, the developers, to collaborate more closely. So to conclude, the process of moving from implementation to data insights, it was quicker, seamless, and it was a success for them and for us as a partners of them. So I'll hand it over to Durga now, so that we can talk about the CSP program.
Awesome. Thank you, Abhijit. Thank you for the great case study. And we have quite a lot of them, something like those. And now I would like to talk about how connection can help access these analytics for you. So one of the biggest challenge the organizations face today is unlocking the full potential of the data. So let's start some common roadblocks and how we address them. So lack of access to data quality. So team usually struggles to find and use the relevant, reliable data. One solution that we have with Fabric is with one lake, a single organization-wide data lake, and centralizes and standardizes the data across departments, ensuring accessibility and governance. And coming to the next blocker, so lack of collaboration among the data teams, different skill set, different skill levels, and disconnect tools created different silos. So with Fabric, Fabric's unified data platform integrates low code or no code tools like Power BI and data flows, enabling both technical and non-technical users to collaborate seamlessly. And so always like increasing complexity of analytics and data volumes, managing the large scale data and insights is always overwhelming. So with Fabric and self-service BI tools and generative AI and analytics and machine learning within the Fabric, automating insights, optimize queries and scale data processing reduces complexity and lack of data-driven culture. So organizations miss out of an actionable insight due to low adoption of these data-driven decisions. So with self-service BI tools, embedded reports, and especially Copilot AI capabilities empower users at all levels to interact with data intuitively, fostering data-driven decisions, making that as a culture. So now I'd like to talk to you about the CSP Plus program. So Connection has been supporting CSP Plus for many years. And what Connection has done with CSP Plus is taken our collective experience with both customers, Connection experts, and Microsoft to build a world-class offering that excels in market and directly address the client needs in unique ways. So we have redesigned the experience for both new and existing CSP customers, enabling them to enter CSP Plus and take advantage of it right from the beginning. So you can see there are quite a lot of benefits that you get and quite a lot of functionalities that CSP Plus includes. So usually the process starts with onboarding. The onboarding process is facilitated by experienced cloud solutions architects. They are part of our Azure Advisor team, and it includes areas like your security review and things like that. Basically it acts as a quick getting started guide for you. To have you started with your cloud environment, and also have somebody to call somebody at a phone call away to call and ask any questions that you may get when you are including or enabling your cloud within your organization. So we also have dedicated times for different customers. For example, let's say you are exploring a new solution and you want to talk to an expert about the architecture of it and the best practice of it. So you can reach out to the Azure advisors, and usually we'll have these calls, like 1-hour calls with you, and to talk about the architecture. And basically what I would always say to my customers is like, consider this CSP Plus and Azure Advisors solutions architecture team as an extended solution architecture team to you as well. So let's say if you have any questions on architecture and things like that, you can reach out to your account manager, and usually it goes with a scheduling the call with the solutions architecture, and from there the discussion on the architectural discussions and everything goes on. So that's everything that I have. And with regards to key takeaways on the thank you slide. So Microsoft Fabric is a unified AI-driven data platform that transforms analytics at an enterprise scale. Also, the Power BI OneLake and AI integration makes insights more accessible, actionable, and impactful. And organizations must embrace modern data strategies to stay competitive in a rapidly evolving landscape. So thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. We are very excited to help you unlock the full potential of Microsoft Fabric. If you have any questions or ready to explore the next steps, please reach out to your account manager and don't miss out on our next part in this webinar series. Thank you all.